Peace, beloveds, and welcome back to the Green Vibes Wellness channel. Today I have a kind of interesting kind of topic, and I want to get into it with you because I know that you've probably experienced it by now, even though you're not even aware. If you are new here, greetings. My name is Emerald, and I'm so thankful that you're here. I would love to hear your experience, all of you, if you have had any experience with progressions in your charts. So I'm going to get straight into it. What is a progression? A progression is when your chart is moving forward, and every day, technically, they kind of mark it up to 90 days. Every day is supposed to equal a year in your progression. This is what your life is going to kind of look like in your incarnation, and it's not anything like, oh, future predicting, but you can definitely predict some things in your future if you look at your progressions and the energy that's shifting for you and where and when and what time. I actually have some notes this time. I usually never have notes, but this is just to kind of keep me on track because progressions are really interesting things. They're also known as secondary progressions. You can go ahead and look up your secondary progression on astroseek.com. That's what I use. Here's an example chart of what it looks like to have a secondary progression. All the planets on the outside are where the planets have moved and shifted, and all the planets on the inside is your birth chart. So that's why it's so important is to look at your progressions, especially as you age, is because you could turn into a whole different person. You can think of the progression chart as your personal evolution because you're going to be evolving into new Sun, Mercury, Moon, Venus, and Mars. Everybody literally progresses in their charts. So you could be like me, a Virgo Sun, but you could have progressed into a Libra Sun without even knowing it. Definitely check out this video if you feel like you've shifted into a new person, and go make sure that you're getting your chart calculated for your secondary progression using Astroseek or any other website that you desire. Let's go ahead and get into this. So you're different. You're not the same anymore. You're different. And I kind of feel like your progressive chart is like you growing up, quite literally. You have the birthmark. You're always going to be your birth chart, right? Like that's your foundation. But who you are evolving into. Pikachu is always going to be Pikachu until he evolves into, well, not Pikachu anymore, right? And now he's a whole different energy. He carries a whole different vibration to him, but he's still that being. So you can see yourself in your secondary progression as just evolving like a Pokemon would, or like a tree. You know, we have different stages. You know that it takes a saguaro like so many years to get the size that it gets, and that it spends so much of its time very little, very delicate, very sensitive, very vulnerable in its little state for like 16 years until it finally grows into what it's meant to be. But that being is the same being that was so small is so big. And you have to remember your own potential. Remember that you have your own wisdom and your own knowledge inside of you that's yet to be unlocked. You have to make sure that you're leveling up. Think of it like a game. You can't use a level 99 pickaxe if you're only at level 1 pickaxing. You can't use a level 99 fishing rod because you've only gone out to fish one time and you're only level 1. You have to continue doing these things over and over again until you master it. That's what mastery is. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to fail. And most importantly, don't be afraid to be on anyone's timeline but your own. And this is where astrology and progressions really come in, because you're not the same anymore. You're different. So what I find really cool, honestly, about progressions is that you've basically mastered the last zodiac sign that you were in. Let's say that you were born, this is why degrees are very important. Let's say that you were born in like 15 degrees Taurus and you have progressed into a 2-degree Gemini. Well, that age is going to be profound for you. What age did you turn into your new sign? What age did you master the other sign? So interesting to see. And now it's kind of like you're brand new. You're learning a whole new sign. Think of it, you know, as incarnations. It's interesting just to see where is the degree of my sun sign when I'm born. Like my personal sun sign is in 10 degrees. And I really didn't understand that until recently, let's just say. The degrees in your sun sign are so important, and as well as your ascending sign, your MC, your IC. Just look at the chart and you'll see that these degrees also have profound meaning to it. When you add numerology, when you add in the vibrations of numbers, everything kind of makes sense. With my sun in the 8th house in 10 degrees, it literally just came to me like I'm completing a cycle. I'm completing some type of cycle. Like 10 is the number of completion, 1 and 0, which means that I can start some new type of cycle. And it's in the 8th house, which is the house of death and rebirth. So like, that's why my life is like this. That's why my life is like this. But now I've progressed into an 8 degrees Libra sun, still in the 8th house. Okay, like, damn. As you get older, the planets will progress. And one thing to really pay attention to is the moon, especially. The moon moves so quickly in our regular days, right? So every 2 days, it's switching another constellation. But in our lives, it's like every 2 or 3 years, the moon is switching in your birth chart. So you feel different about yourself. Like you actually feel different because the moon rules over your emotions. And in progressions, you're constantly switching moon signs. So it's like your focus shifts in some certain areas, and it's really cool to see what house it's in, what degrees it's in, and of course what zodiac sign it's in. Mercury is really important to look at for progressions because some of y'all's Mercury could station retrograde or station direct. If you had Mercury retrograde when you were born, it could station, it probably will, it will station direct in your lifetime. And in our lifetimes, our natal Mercury will also, again, through these progressions, station retrograde. So in those periods, you have to like really pay attention to your mind and like what you're doing, and you'll see it reflected in your regular day life. It's amazing. Venus is another one that moves pretty quickly. So it's like who you're attracted to will change. Quite literally, like who you like, who you desire will change. My Venus was in Libra and now it's in Scorpio. Bro, I think, wait, I'm pretty sure that Venus is like in its detriment in Scorpio. And I am learning the hard way. Like, I'm learning some hard truths, y'all. Like, I'm really diving deep in the Venusian character. Like, when it comes to femininity, y'all, I'm seeing the truth, like, about relationships. Like, this goes really deep. Like, I'm talking about the dark side of patriarchy, the dark side of, like, what's been happening to us as women. Like, it's not about, oh, I want to have sex 24/7, even though I'm, like, heavily more sexual. Absolutely. Like, I have more sexual energy. But this time, I'm, like, really diving deep. Like I'm looking at things differently. And with Venus and Libra, I was just like, oh, I want to be in love. I really need a partner. I really need this. Like I felt myself being like a pick me, or I felt myself being like swayed to this other side of femininity. And it's like you have to wait to be chosen, and like all these different things that are finally coming apart now that my Venus has shifted into Scorpio. It's like a totally different ballgame now. And the same with Mercury. The way that you speak, the way that you think, the way that you express yourself, it changes throughout the years. You have to give yourself that grace. Like sometimes I hear stories about people are like, oh yeah, I was the loud one and now I'm like more quiet. Like bet you that could have been like a Gemini Mercury shifting and progressing into a Cancer Mercury. Like you just don't know until you know. So make sure that you're looking at your secondary progression chart. And if you don't understand anything in it, then definitely book me for a reading, because I can also channel messages for you in that moment based off of what spirit wants to tell you. So definitely hit me up for a reading with that. The last thing I want to touch on is the rising signs and the sun sign, and how important that is to look at if it's progressed. Because if your sun sign has changed, that's your whole like your ego, you know, that I honestly do not like the word ego like at all. I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way. I feel like this is your spirit. The sun is your spirit, right? So like there's a soul and there's a spirit. Like we're getting really deep right now, but this is necessary because honestly, I feel like your soul can also be found in your rising sign, and your spirit is more found in your sun sign. Like what's giving you vitality, what's giving you life to create things, you know what I'm saying? So when you look at that shift, like for me from Virgo to Libra, that's like, oh, being serving, oh, haha, to like now like, oh no, I'm gonna create, I'm gonna think how I want to think, I'm gonna do what I want to do, I'm gonna just like be myself, you know? Whereas before it was so much hard on myself. And you learn that though. That's why you progress out of that sun sign. Like you hit the 29 degrees because you finally learned the lesson that you needed to learn. Like I'm so happy because I just turned 29, and this is so profound because the number 29 by itself so profound, and I was born on the 2nd, so like 2 is already like a big number for me. It means being a part of, right? But the 9 is endings. Like I'm ending the cycle of desperately needing to be a part of something else, you know? It feels so liberating, but then it's like, wow, what are you stepping into? And that's that new zodiac sign. That's that new energy after 29 degrees, 0 degrees again. You're like, whoa, like you can start anywhere. You can do anything that you want. So yeah, I would definitely take a look at your rising sign, see if it's changed, and your other energies are going to change too. Your MC is going to change and your IC will shift. How you feel about your home life and how you feel about your career is going to shift. Not everything needs to stay the same, but just remember that it is shifting in another house. So it's like, it's not gone, but it's shifting in another house. What's really, really important is that the transits that are happening. So you know how everything goes on in the world every day, there's new planetary shifts. How is that affecting your progression? Not just your birth chart, but your progressive chart now. Like it's very profound. You'll have things happen to you and you didn't realize it unless you look at your progression chart and your transit chart on top of one another. It's very interesting. So before I go through the signs, I just want to sum it up really, really quick. Okay, so the progressions are the internal shift that you're experiencing. This is more of an internal thing. This is an internal evolution. You're growing and you're becoming stronger, bigger, and wiser, right? This is how you develop and this is how you change. So with the transits, they will trigger your progressions, which is why you want to look at the daily transits as well. Venus changes every like 3 times. Maybe you could progress into Venus and Venus could shift for you like 3 times. Mars is going to be like 2 times that it changes, and the MC and the IC will shift like 1 time, kind of like your rising sign. I haven't really, oh, actually I did see somebody who shifted rising signs 3 times. Like that's intense, y'all. Like I personally am no longer a Capricorn rising. I'm now a 2-degree Aquarius rising, as Pluto is moving into Aquarius. And my Uranus was retrograde when I was born. It's direct now. So it's like all these things happen in like synchronicities. It's crazy. It's literally so crazy. So for your sun progression, this is a bigger kind of shift in your identity on a new, larger scale. Like the layers that you've had on you for the last 30 years is shedding off, right? So you want to look at that progression. Mercury is, you know, you want to watch for it to go direct or retrograde with your communication, with your speech, how you're changing, how you talk, how you communicate, how you learn. And your Mars is who you're going to be attracted to. Like I have a Mars in Cancer and it's moving into Leo. I am so excited, but I already know that the men that I'm attracted to now, the kind of energy that I even exude out is going to be totally different. It's going to be totally freaking different. And you also want to pay attention to Venus, of course. And then because that's also how you make your money. That's your abundance, right? That's money. Okay. The degrees, you really want to pay attention to the degrees versus like when you were born and then how they've moved since you're born. Got me? So this is going to be a super kind of general walk through what you could be going through. You can apply this to your sun, moon, Mercury, Mars, and Venus progressions because it's just going to be the zodiac energy, okay? If your energy was in Pisces and it's shifted into Aries now through your progression, you're going to feel like you were very vulnerable, right? You were a very vulnerable kind of innocent kind of person who is now turned into an a-hole. Who is now turned into a super independent, super hyper active kind of person, right? So if you had your sun in Pisces, like you're a whole core cultural, and like you might want to like continue to be that, but you've mastered it. Remember that. You got to know that through this progression, like in this lifetime, you've mastered it. You're going through the wheel, baby. This is a circle. And Pisces and Aries is like the number 1, like from 12 to 1 again. It's from I know everything, I've gained all the wisdom, to I'm going to start something new again. Let's start over. And that energy can be like really heavy sometimes, but honestly, I feel like it's so uplifting if you know what to do with it. And if you continue to sit on yourself, you're not gonna be able to evolve the way that you thought. Like you're gonna be an evolved Pikachu, but you're gonna be a fat Pikachu because you're not moving, you're not evolving. Like you gotta like do stuff now that you got all the new gear, right? Like you gotta like do stuff now. Pisces is so used to being taken care of and like, oh, like woe is me kind of energy, and like I've done this before and like I don't want to do, you know, but like take this new Pisces to Aries energy and be like, let's do something new. Let's try something new. So if you were an Aries or you had Aries energy, now it's moved into Taurus. This is going to feel like a very hyperactive bunny kind of found its corner to jump in, right? That's what I'm seeing. It's like this really hyperactive energy, this energy that you had like so much willpower for, so much force, you're finally able to put it into a place, because Taurus is all about quality. Taurus likes to take its time. Aries is the one who's like rushing, let's do this, like, da, da, da. But Taurus is like, okay, let's do this. We're talking about from cardinal to fixed. You are now fixed in something, and it could feel uncomfortable at first. Like why are things slow? They're not slow for your detriment. They're slow for your benefit, because Taurus likes to build quality. You need to remember that Taurus is your best friend, Aries. Okay, so when you shift from that hot fire energy to that grounding earth energy, just remember that this is what it's meant to be, because now you're taking that idea and you're putting it into something solid. So if you have this progression, honestly, you're really making something in life. Like, you actually are making something in life. Okay, so Taurus into Gemini. Yikes. It could feel like, you know, slow and steady meets the race, and now it's like hit by a hurricane, like, let's get it. Like, you just have this newfound kind of energy and inspiration, but it's not like Aries energy, it's Gemini energy, and that's more up here. Like, you really have new ideas floating up around up here. You want to talk about, like, oh, what did I just build? What did I just build? What did I just put my time and energy into? Let's talk about it. Wow, I just built this thing, and this is how I did it, and this is the coordinates, and this is how that, like, this is what you want to do now. You want to talk about your achievements. What you've achieved in your Taurian kind of energy is shifting into a more Gemini energy, and you want to share that with people. And I think that that's amazing. So just remember that this is a more, you're going to be more woken up, because Taurus is like, Taurus is kind of like a sleeping giant, you know, like taking its time, like living its life sensually. But Gemini is just like quick, 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 quick. So if you feel like you have new profound anxiety, this is why. Gemini likes to work with the hands too. So you could be working with your hands more if you have any progressions from Taurus to Gemini, but you're always working with your hands as a Taurus. So just remember that you are still always going to be a Taurus, but now you want to talk about your ideas. You want to express your ideas. You want to, like, kind of detail, refine it in a way, or like expand it. That's what Gemini is good at, is like expanding and like finding new kind of avenues to do your work. So if you had Gemini energy and you progress into Cancer energy, oh my gosh, this is, you know, someone who's talking all the game, but now you gotta walk the walk. Okay, this is air to water. This is mutable energy to cardinal energy. This is making you more responsible. Yeah, I really feel like that. This is making you more accountable. This is holding you more accountable for your actions. This is holding you more accountable for how you're making people feel. Gemini energy is like talk, talk, talk. Cancer energy is just like, okay, how did I feel saying that, and how did I make this person feel? Like, it's really about feeling now, and it's not just about expressing just to express, just, oh, I'm just gonna get this off my chest. That's Gemini energy. I'm just gonna do all these things and, like, haha, not even think about it. But now Cancer energy is like, okay, we're honing down on the energy. How did this make me feel? What do we need to cleanse out, because Cancer is water? What do we need to clean out of our mental space? What do we need to release? Like, what's really making us anxious still? Things like that. Gemini is always anxious, and Cancer energy will make you sit down with your feelings. Will make you sit down with your feelings and be like, what's going on? What's going on in there? Hello, talk to me, right? So this is a more slow, sensual kind of energy. Cancer is like a build up too. So it's like the things, I'm hearing like a very specific message. The things that may have like upset you in the past, you can't hold on to them. And Cancer loves to hold on to it. Gemini, you experienced it. To experience, you got to let that go. You can't carry it with you into the new energy that you're having with Cancer energy. Cancer energy is meant to really expand you and like bring you more abundance and like happiness. Cancer is emotion, it's feminine, you know. With Gemini, you're just like, haha, like so detached, so not there, right? But Cancer brings you here into your body again. So just consider that, and, you know, be graceful with yourself. And this is the time for you to open up your emotions and like really get to know yourself on a deeper level and not just surface level. So Cancer into Leo. Ooh, wow. Cancer into Leo. So if you have progressions from Cancer into Leo, this is definitely a queen going into another regal energy. What am I feeling here? Oh, I feel like your responsibilities now, the responsibilities that you were like enjoying in the Cancerian energy, like, you know, feeling all of these emotions. Now it's really kind of like you're more having to hold yourself accountable. It's kind of like from Gemini to Cancer, but now this is Cancer to Leo. You're holding yourself more accountable for your actions, and like, what does make you feel good? What does make you feel pleasurable? What does make like light you up? What sustains your light? Because you give in Cancer. Like, you're giving, and you're giving in Leo too. That's the thing. Like, you're just like giving. You're a very giving person, and it's not going to end for you. If you just got Cancer progressing into Leo, it's not going to end. It's going to get more, okay? You're going to give more. But now I believe, like, what I'm hearing is like you're giving more quality, and you know who to give to, and you're not just like giving to everybody because you realize that they will exploit you. Cancerian water to Leo fire. Ooh, it's like the water is like literally boiling. Like, don't touch me anymore. Like, don't say those things to me anymore. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, you know, like, you have to respect your emotional boundaries. You have to respect what your emotions have brought to you. Like, they're messages for you. And in Leo, you get to really see who's loyal to you, who stands up for you, who does these things for you, you know, because then you know how to give. You know how to give. So now you can give to the people who are really giving to you and like filling your cup. Like, ooh, I feel like that's so deep. And also, you need to believe in yourself more. I feel like there's some self-esteem issues with going from Cancer to Leo, because Cancer likes to stay kind of like low-key, kind of like putting out the fires, right? But Leo is the fire. You're the fire now. You're not putting out anything. You're lighting shit up now. Okay? So from Cancer to Leo, you can't be afraid to roar now. Like, you were the whole ocean. I don't think you understood that, but now you're the sun. Now you the sun, okay? That's a whole different kind of hot to deal with. I'm telling you, that's a whole different kind of weight to deal with. So step into your prowess, step into your Leo energy, and just take that Cancerian lesson with you. Don't help people who ain't helping you. Don't be there so quick for people who will leave you in the dust. Like, and use your intuition and your discernment. That's what Cancer is, intuition. And Leo is the discernment. Like, you see through the BS now. You can burn through it, right? Don't let it just sit on you. And don't let your water get stagnant. So Leo into Virgo. Oh my gosh. Low key. I'm so sorry, because like, it's hard. The thing that I immediately think about is the king into the servant, because Virgo serves and you were just used to being up on this pedestal, and now you have to serve. I'm sorry. Now you have to like give back to other people. Now you have to do the work. You can't just be up there on the stage like ha ha ha. Like, now you have to like be in the back writing the scripts, editing things out. I feel like you were the performer, now you're the secretary. Like, it sucks, man. It really sucks, actually. Like, this one is not cute. But when you progress into Virgo, you're redefining your whole life. Like, Virgo is so precise. Virgo is so important, because without Virgo, we wouldn't even have beauty, right? We wouldn't even have anything beautiful, because everything would be so shuffled up. Virgo is the one who picks things out and makes it into the perfection that it needs to be. So while you were out here in Leo making chaos, now you gotta like kind of pick up the pieces in Virgo and like make it beautiful, because after Virgo is Libra. That'll be your next progression after Virgo. So it's like, you need to realize that you got to pick up the pieces that are meaningful to you and create something more beautiful that's meaningful to you, and not give so much of your attention to things that aren't working. But remember to tap into that Leo like childlike play. And when you are working with Virgo, it's very like it's kind of difficult to like play and do things, but you can do it. Like, you need to do it, because you need to remember to have fun, but you also need to do the hard things. You also need to do the tasks that are required of you. So just remember that. All right, so Virgo into Libra. This is what we talking about. What's up? Okay. I'm officially a progressed Libra sun now, so I love that for me. This is really nice. Okay, can I tell you like something personal? It's like, I feel like I've stepped into my princess era. I want to be a princess, right? Like, I feel like this feminine energy overcoming me. Whereas in Virgo, it was so heavy. It was so heavy because it's all up here. It's all like overthinking. It's all doing all these things for other people. It's serving. putting myself under the bus, like under the rug. Like, oh my gosh, the self-sacrifice that I had to do. What? I'm done. I don't even think I have any more planets in Virgo. Like, I'm done. No, I'm done. So this Virgo into Libra energy is feeling like princess, is feeling like I know how to communicate. I know how to communicate my needs. I know how to manipulate. I know how to do whatever I need to do because I've been a communicator, right? Virgo has been a communicator, but now you're stepping into an air sign. This air sign is going to like free you of your earthly burden is what I'm feeling. Like it's going to free you of that earthly burden of like having to do so much in the real time, and more so manifesting with your mental now is going to make things come true for you. Like we don't have to be in the garden anymore slaving away. We can call the gardener. We can call the gardener. Come get my shit, please. Okay? Like for real. Like you need to step into this more divine feminine energy. And I'm learning so much about feminine energy as well on this journey from Virgo to Libra progression. So it's really important to step into the communicating aspect, communicating with more poise, intelligence, communicating with more like confidence too, because you know Virgo be putting you down real quick. Like I don't even want to talk to this person, they're not gonna understand me, blah blah blah. Libra is more confident, like oh yeah, I can stand in any room, I know who to be. And we know how to be chameleons because of the Virgo energy. We already know how to adapt, right? So with Libra now we have extra charm, extra freaking charm. Who doesn't want that? You don't realize how far it'll actually take you. It takes you very far. So utilize this charm, utilize your communication skills. And because you were in Virgo, you're no longer confused. Because you know how they talk about Libra, like, oh, they're so confused, they can't make a decision. We can make a decision because we were in that Virgo earth energy. We know how to make a decision, okay? So now we can make decisions quicker, more effectively. And when we tap into the feminine energy, especially with this air here, it's gonna like amplify everything. Libra Libra to Scorpio energy. Wow. So if your progression, you were Libra and now you're Scorpio. Do you feel the depths of your soul not expanding? Like, are you serious here? Because Libra is so like light and like ha ha ha, and like I don't really want to like see all of that. Like I can see it, but I don't really want to get into it. Scorpio is getting into it. Okay, what you internalized, what you saw all those years ago, and you trying to brush under the rug was waiting for you on the other side, bro. You thought you swept it under the rug. The rug was your next destination. Oh my gosh, yo. Libra to Scorpio, like you were uncovering so much. You see so much that like you did not want to see before, but you see it very clearly now, and you see it with more maturity. This is the thing with Scorpio. It's like you're seeing it with more maturity because you did have time to get through your mentality with Libra. You had time to kind of like really clean your mental space. Like you're more refined in your mind now. More things like don't affect you as much, right? So you're allowed the Scorpio passage because Scorpio is showing you the depths and the details of things that you missed before, and it's allowing you to like feed into it. Like this is the underworld. You were like way up here in the air. You were in the ethers. You were in the sky, and you got brought way down to the underworld now. So it seems like this kind of progression can feel really like scarce because, you know, Libras love to communicate. They love to like have friends and all of that. And then Scorpio doesn't. They don't. They have trust issues, and like you bring that with you with Libra energy because you've yourself made so many like false friends. Like don't lie to yourself. Like Libra, because you want to get along with everybody, but you don't really like everybody, and you expect everybody to like you. But like this is what Scorpio is going to show you is like you don't need to be liked by everybody. You need to actually find people who are really down for you. You really need to find people who are really going to support you and like be there for you through the depths, right? And not just your floatiness, not just like your cute feminine energy, like your charm. Like you need people who are going to be in the depths with you. So that's where the progressed Scorpio comes in and is whooping your ass. Like I see it, bro. Like y'all are getting thrown around. But when you finally like progress out of Scorpio, you know, into Sagittarius or something, or like even if you're not going to progress out of Scorpio in this lifetime, just know that in the next lifetime, like this is what you're doing it for. You're progressing because you're just trying to learn. You're teaching your soul, you're teaching your spirit like how to be and how to live differently. So this is okay. You need to step into this energy. Like I feel like a lot of y'all are afraid, especially the Libra energy. Like I just feel like y'all are so afraid of going into the depths, but you have to go into the underworld. Things will happen to you during this progression and it's going to be traumatic, but it's not. It's all just a divine evolution. Like you all gotta definitely watch my Pluto video because this will apply to you. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, and if you feel like you're not in touch with your Scorpio energy, you got to look at Pluto and how your Pluto is acting and like all of these things, you know, through the transits, through the progressions. Like that's your new bae is Scorpio, Pluto. Like you gotta look out now. You're in the underworld. You're not in the castle anymore. Like you were taken by the evil witch. You were taken by the evil witch, y'all, and now you have some lessons to learn. It's magic though. Remember that Scorpio energy is magic. It's magnetism. It's like real power. It's not like, ooh, I just feel like y'all were so innocent, right? Libra into Scorpio, like the innocence that's there. It's like Persephone going into the underworld. Like you will grow into a queen. You will grow into a more beautiful goddess with this Plutonian energy. You gotta let it just course through your veins. You gotta let it. You gotta step into your villain era. You were the nice princess. You were nice to everybody. You were doing everything for everybody. Scorpio. So if you have progressed Scorpio into Sagittarius, wow, this is fun. So I feel like you're very brilliant. Wow, you're so smart and intellectual because the depths of Scorpio teach you a lot about yourself. They teach you a lot about the world because you see the world in like this kind of dark lens. And then stepping into Sagittarius, which is fire, you can actually like really ignite yourself out there because of what you know and because of what you've learned. And now you have a different kind of faith in you. I feel like y'all's is a very spiritual path. If you specifically have Scorpio rising, Scorpio MC, or Scorpio sun moving into Sagittarius, this is a very spiritual life for you because Sagittarius is the one who goes to like Mount Olympus. Like they're the one who's going the distance to like see God, you know? So this is your path, is to get out of the depths of your own hell and to come out and to shine bright for everybody else because this is fire and you need to be seen and you need to be ignited again. And in the depths of Scorpio, like you're used to just like lolling at the bottom and like being in a deep sleep kind of because you're like psychoanalyzing everything. But with Sagittarius, it's like, no, like I'm out here now, like I'm expressing it, I'm showing it, like we're here, you know? So don't be afraid to step into the limelight now. It's gonna be a lot of like uncovering of yourself, and you've like built this like protective shield on yourself, and you can still have that, but realize that fire can't burn with like so many logs on it. Like you got to take some logs off, right, in order for the fire to burn really correctly, and then you can add the logs back on to add fuel to your fire. So just don't forget who you really are, your core. Like you're brilliant, and yes, you're a sensitive being. To Scorpio is so sensitive, and to come out and to be like this bright flame, it's going to take a lot of courage. It's going to take a lot of courage for you, but I definitely believe in you. Sagittarius energy progressing into Capricorn. Oh my god. Like I was just talking about Scorpio, like, oh, you're gonna be like this bright light now, and now Sagittarius bright light is gonna be capped. It's gonna be capped by Capricorn. So if you had all this like fantastical energy, now you realize in Capricorn that you're putting it into the actual physical reality, and that could be kind of annoying. Like I just feel like y'all are annoyed with this energy, like even though it's making you more structured and more refined and everybody loves to hear that, it's like, where's your enthusiasm? Make sure that you're still enthusiastic and like optimistic and joyful, because Saturn is literally pessimism. Saturn is literally doom and gloom, bro. So for you to step out of sunshine and like into doom and gloom can be like such a harsh reality check. Oh my gosh. But just realize that you have to just take your wisdom because you are very wise. Sagittarius is very, very wise, like the spiritual counselor, right? You're taking that and you're just applying it now to your practical life. Like you're helping other people probably. That's probably why you stepped into like you're being the sage and like you're like up here, but now like you need to come down here where the people are and like help the actual people, because after Capricorn is Aquarius. So like you need to make sure that you're kind of perfecting and like refining the things that you want to put out into the world and like how you really want to help people. And you're you're the example, but now you're no longer like like I'm having like this vision of like you're looking at your old videos, like you've already done the things that inspired people and now you have to like edit the video and like put it out there. So that's kind of Sagittarius moving into Capricorn energy, and you're just being more stable. That's all. Like you really have to appreciate this energy because it is quite literally putting your wisdom into something physical for other people to learn and like grow, including yourself. All right, so Capricorn into Aquarius. This is like my personal because my rising sign moved from Capricorn to Aquarius. Okay, y'all, this is different. Like this is different because Capricorn expects you to be so serious all the time, so sad, so structured, so freaking like monotonous, like, you know, like so hard on yourself. Like so much criticism and like so many self-esteem problems stem from fucking Capricorn, I swear. But when you step into Aquarius, bro, like all of that gets like burnt to the ground immediately, because Aquarius is Uranus energy that's change, like quick lightning change, and Capricorn can't even keep up, bro. Capricorn cannot even keep up. So like for you to be coming from this very calm, like steady, sturdy place into this very like electrical kind of thing, it's scary to yourself and other people because you're different. And this Aquarius energy is very different because it's alien, right? Aquarius is from another planet. Like they're the straight up aliens. They're the geniuses, the ones that are the rule breakers, the ones that are breaking out of the bonds that Capricorn specifically made. Like this is tough shit right now, right? This one is not easy. The progression, okay, two progressions from Leo into Virgo is not easy, and from Capricorn into Aquarius is not easy. Because you're so used to being refined, but now you just see everything and you just don't want to be the same as everybody else. You just don't care anymore because you need to make a change. You need to make a difference. And you can't make a difference by applying the same rules over and over again. That's what Capricorn is for, is to build your structure. Like it's helping you build your structure. But for Aquarius doesn't really have a structure. They like to go with the flow. They like to surrender, okay? But you have to like remember in times of like downtimes or in times of like where you feel really extra fragile, because it's mostly up here. Like it's very much so mental energy as Aquarius because you're moving from earth to air. Like you were a whole mountain and now you're just floating in the sky. Like what the hell? It's so complicated. This one is different. This one is different. Like, who do you even want to be? Like, this is giving you permission to be who you want to be. It's so bizarre, but like you're here to really like lead and like help people, and you are a leader because Capricorn is the number one of the earth signs, the main bitch, the main leader, right? So you know how to build a foundation, you know how to build these things, and now you're building them for your own unique kind of self. Like you can't listen to anybody else. You've already got the skills. Now you got to apply it how you want to apply it. Okay, last but not least, Aquarius into Pisces. Wow, I just feel like you're going from air to water. You're going from thinking about so many things to actually feeling them. Ooh, and this one is so deep because both Aquarius and Pisces are all about the collective. Wow, wow. I really feel like y'all's progression is very, very special. Specifically, if you have a progression from Aquarius to Pisces, you are here for a very specific reason. Like you have a lot of collective energy to put out into the world, and before you're just like intellectualizing it. I feel like you're kind of like doing it on your own and like just kind of like, you know, doing your own Aquarius thing. But when you step into Pisces, you have to belong, you have to be in it with everybody again. And like that's a different kind of energy. Like you were like free flying and now you're the ocean and you have to carry everybody in a way. So you're very mature. Like, oh, I'm getting so many goosebumps. Like this is a very mature kind of energy. This is a very different energy like than all the other zodiac ones. Like this one is like true leadership, true like I'm really progressing. I'm really progressing not only myself but society. Like you're progressing society and what you're doing. So you have to realize that. And for you to be in Pisces energy, it's because like now you need to feel everything yourself. Like it's not fair for you to like make all the plans and then not get to enjoy it. So Pisces is like you're enjoying it now, but you have to realize that the world, especially right now, is like so heavy. So you feel everything. You feel everything. You feel the collective and you want to make a difference with your Aquarius. And you can make a difference now. You know how to collaborate. You know how to talk to people. You know how to like bring ideas into life. So use that with your Pisces energy and work with spirit. Work with spirit and not against spirit, and not just like doing your own thing, but like really working with everything all together. So yeah, that's all of the energies. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in another one. Peace.